Can you imagine being misdiagnosed for over 30 years? Not just with a minor ailment, but with something debilitating such as cerebral palsy. Stay right where you are because you're going to want to hear Jean's miraculous story. It is truly inspiring. Hi everyone, welcome to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, even if it's in the form of a label that is a false diagnosis from a medical doctor. Jean Abbott was misdiagnosed at the age of 4 with spastic diplegia, a form of cerebral palsy. After 33 years of countless doctor's visits, medical procedures, unnecessary medications, and surgeries, she was correctly diagnosed with dopa-responsive dystonia. Jean is with us today to share her story. But first, watch her story as it was told on the Today Show just about a year and a half ago.
Now a medical mystery that's almost impossible to believe. A young mom from Minnesota who found out that the pain she has been enduring for something like 33 years may have been unnecessary. NBC national correspondent Kate Snow is here to explain that. Kate, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. This is a medical story, but it's also really a story about the human spirit and a woman with an incredibly positive attitude. Jean Abbott struggled to walk for more than 3 decades. By the time she hit her early 30s, she was worried she'd end up in a nursing home. But then one little pill changed everything.
This is Jean Abbott in high school, walking awkwardly, struggling to get up the school stairs.
It was painful, it was exhausting, it was challenging.
As a child, Jean was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a specific form of it called spastic diplegia.
Nobody babied me. None of us were about to let this disability define me.
Jean took thousands of medications, saw more than a dozen doctors. She was using a scooter when she met her husband, Steve. She leaned on him as they cut their wedding cake. They had 2 girls, but it was tough. She couldn't drive them to activities or make lunch for school.
As a mom, I felt inadequate. People that didn't really know me, and they would come up and, oh, do you have cerebral palsy?
Jean looked like she had cerebral palsy, but here's the crazy part of her story. It turned out she never had CP. Never. In her early 30s, she was referred to Dr. Martha Nance, who immediately realized Jean's illness didn't look like classic CP. She walked more easily in the mornings, and her disability was getting worse with age.
My job when I saw her was to think about any other possibility.
I thought she was crazy. I couldn't imagine living life any other way. I have spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy. I mean, I've been treated my whole life for that.
Dr. Nance gave Jean a new diagnosis, a rare brain disorder called dopa-responsive dystonia, or DRD. The symptoms look a lot like cerebral palsy, but it's a different genetic disorder, not as well known when Jean was a child.
This is kind of a 1 in a million disease.
And with one big difference from cerebral palsy, DRD can be treated with a simple pill. For Jean, that one pill meant that after more than 30 years, she could walk without help. Now Jean could play, really play with her kids.
To have a child cry for joy is just not something you see, and she was so genuinely happy that her mom could walk. I just felt so grateful and just thinking, I want to see more. There's so much out there I want to see. I want to see more.
She's able to do so many things that we never dreamt she'd be able to. It's been amazing to see the transformation.
My legs feel like jello.
Jean made this video showing the difference from when she's not taking her medicine to when she does.
See that my walking is a lot faster. It's a lot easier.
One pill made all the difference and could have for nearly 3 decades.
I'm not angry in the least. All of my life experiences that I had to deal with, the physical therapy, the surgeries, all the medication, all made me a really strong person.
Their 2-year-old John won't even remember what it was like when Mommy couldn't walk. Jean rode her first roller coaster, took a second honeymoon, did things she never imagined.
We've got a really good life. And if this wouldn't have ever happened, we still would have had a really good life. And I'm grateful for it, and I can honestly say that I would go through all of it again. With the girls? All of it.
Welcome, Jean, to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. What an inspiring story. Oh my goodness. I mean, is this common, a misdiagnosis on this caliber?
I mean, one would not think so,
No.
but when I do go speaking and stuff, people are always coming up to me and saying, I was misdiagnosed with something as well. Granted, not as debilitating as what I had gone through.
Wow, now you told me, because we talked before the show, but that you've actually, since your story has come out, that you've had like 15 or 20 people that have come to you that have had misdiagnoses as well.
Correct.
It's amazing to me.
It's amazing to me too, and that just makes it all worthwhile, and that's why I had to share my story, is because I thought, if I was trapped in my body for this long, dealing with spastic muscles from a form of cerebral palsy, only it's something else, there's got to be other people out there dealing with the same exact thing, and
for sure,
it's amazing.
Well, and you know, I think it's what's fascinating to me is like I said in the opener about how there's death in life and the power of the tongue, and when we're giving when we have been given a diagnosis from a doctor, and we just believe what they say without thinking anything different, then that's how we live our life, more or less, right? I mean, obviously you went to multiple doctors. It's not like you just went to one.
Correct.
But when you hear it over and over again, that's what you believe. Kind of like, and not to compare it at all, but kind of like someone who is verbally abused when they're young. You know, you're not good enough, you can't do this, those kind of words. It gets trapped in your mind and therefore your body, and this is what happened to you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I had originally been diagnosed by one of the best neurologists in the state, if not the country. My parents took me to one of the other best hospitals to get just a confirmation of it, and every other doctor down the road said the same thing, that it was spastic diplegia. And so when this doctor told me that she thought I had dopa responsive dystonia, and one little pill would change my life, making it so I could walk from point A to point B without thinking about it.
You thought she was crazy.
I did. I thought she was crazy, and I wasn't going to fill the prescription.
Right, really?
I wasn't going to fill the prescription.
Well, because what's the point? I mean, you've lived this way since you were 4 years old. Like, it's really going to be any different? You've tried everything else, right?
I had tried everything. Medications and surgeries and physical therapy and lots of exercises and praying and everything. Wow. Well, the other people that reached out to you and found out that they didn't have cerebral palsy, did they have the same dopa response dystonia that you have, or is it? Correct. It was the exact same misdiagnosis. Yes, because if it's not dopa responsive dystonia, the medication levodopa won't help them. Gotcha. As far as that spasticity and stuff. Okay. So. And was this particular pill a new pill on the market, so to speak, or it's been around for a while? Yeah, yes, it's been around a very long time. It's actually used to treat Parkinson's. Okay. Except dopa responsive dystonia is very different from Parkinson's. And so your body doesn't produce dopamine, correct? Correct. It doesn't produce it as much as I need it to produce. As much as you need it to. And that was kind of the part in the piece of the puzzle in getting my correct diagnosis, is because I always did better in the morning than I did at night. So in the morning I could try and go out and ride my bike and run around with my brothers. Because you had a little bit of dopamine I had drip. Some dopamine, because you make dopamine while you sleep. Right. But by the time it was time to get ready for bed, or even after dinner time, I was pretty much immobile and sitting on my couch. And someone had to help me do everything. Wow. That's amazing. Sleep was like a reset button to me. Yeah, for sure. So did it, okay, here's a question. Then did it make you want to sleep more? Because you felt like, I feel better after I sleep. So did you kind of want to crawl in and just sleep all the time? I would have to take a nap every single day. I still actually nap, because even though I'm on this new medication, there's nothing wrong with that. I know, right? No, but even though I'm on this correct medication, I mean, it is not a cure, and I still have to keep my stress levels low and get lots of sleep. Sure. But oh my gosh, it's so much better. You're a walking miracle. I mean, would you say that you are a living miracle? I feel like it. Yes. You know, I mean, I don't want to be like I'm the chosen one or anything, but no, I'm saying you're chosen, girl. Yeah, I mean, I feel like God put me in this position for a reason. He knew you'd have a voice. And I mean, it was Good Friday that I got my correct diagnosis.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it was 2 days later on Easter Sunday that I was standing outside in the church parking lot waiting for the Easter egg hunt to start. You know, and
Wow,
I mean, even
praise
my
God.
mom came up from behind me and she didn't know it was me. My own mom didn't recognize me from behind because I was standing so tall and so strong.
That is amazing.
So,
Well, yeah, you are a living miracle and a walking miracle. And I think that your story is an inspiration, not just because, first of all, you have an amazing attitude. And, you know, I've only known you for a short while, but from what I understand, you've had this incredible attitude all the way throughout your journey. So tell me a little bit about that. What gives you the strength to continue on?
I think I really owe a lot of it to my parents. You know, they raised me to have a faith in God, but to not focus on what I couldn't do. I mean, they were ones, they were never going to let this disability define me. I went to doctor's appointments all the time, but when we were at home, I was just Jean. So
Love that.
there wasn't going to be, let's feel sorry for you because you can't do this, or, I mean, I still had chores to do. They led me to live a normal life despite all of my physical limitations. And so I just owe so much to them and raising me in a life of faith, because I could have been angry and I could have been bitter, and everyone would have understood, but I mean, what's the point? I always felt like God made me this way for a reason, so I needed to embrace it and do what I could to show others that you can be strong and positive no matter what your challenges are.
Wow. I mean, it's just encouraging, seriously, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I have those moments and I'm just having a really bad day and I can have a bad attitude. And yet you were living a life that seemed to be not the norm, you know, and you just had that good attitude. And that's the power of Christ in you. And when I first met you, I could just see his light shining through you. And I love that. And I know that he knows that you are a voice not only for this issue that's going on with your life, but for him and to serve him well and for his glory. So I'm just so glad you're here with us. I want to share more, but we have to go to a quick break.
Okay.
So please stay right where you are, and we'll come back and talk with Jean. Have you ever told anyone, go walk it off? Well, it turns out that's great advice. It's great for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hi, I'm Wendie, Pett, fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise and wellness system. With Walk It Off Now, it's a 6-week walking workout program. You'll get 6 weeks of online videos right to your email inbox. You get an ebook, a walking journal, plus access to my private Facebook community to keep you accountable. So what are you waiting for? Go to walkitoffnow.com and join me. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. And before the break, we were just talking with Jean Abbott here. She is the author of Misdiagnosed, My 30-Year Struggle with a Debilitating Disorder I Never Had. Can you imagine living 30 years, 33 actually, right? Having a disease that you never had, cerebral palsy. And actually, she just had an issue called dopa response dystonia. Is that right?
Dopa responsive dystonia.
Yes. Say that 5 times fast.
I know, it's a mouthful.
But it's basically where your body doesn't produce dopamine, and therefore it gives the signals or signs for your body of atrophy, as in a cerebral palsy situation.
Yep.
So
lots of spasticity.
Spastic,
Lots of spasticity.
So the movements and just your skills, just your brain's telling it to do one thing, but your body's not reacting, correct? Yeah.
Correct, yep.
So that kind of leads me to believe, because I mean, I'm kind of thinking, we were discussing earlier before the show about, you know, you went from wheels to heels, basically, right? You were in a scooter, and all of a sudden you're on your feet and you're walking. I mean, was your body atrophied? Was it difficult to start beginning this process? I mean, what was that like?
Well, I'd always, my parents had worked really hard to keep me out of a chair. So I was one, by the time I got to be in high school, I was doing lots of weightlifting and exercising every single day. I mean, that's what really kept me from being in a chair.
Yes.
So when I started taking that new medication, that's why I was able to stand so tall and so strong right away on that Easter Sunday, which was such a miracle. I just still can't get over it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I really do. And the fact that your parents just had the wherewithal to keep encouraging you and to not see you as your disability, but to see you as Jean. And I think that that's really been part of the the good in all of this on some levels, because it kept you in a place of, I'm not CP, I'm Jean.
Yes,
you
yes.
know?
And even my husband, I mean, that someone could look past all of my physical abnormalities and still love me for who I was.
Absolutely.
I guess.
And
really.
you guys met when you were in the scooter, obviously.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Wow, says a lot about him too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this leads me to ask about your children. Are they just like giddy? They kind of got their mom back on some level, or a new mom, or it's not like you've changed, but there's new things that you can do with them and participate in.
There are so many things that I can do for them, with them, that, I mean, I'd watch other moms, and I mean, there would be that little bit of jealousy, because it's like, I want to do that with my kids, and now I can do that with my kids.
Like what? What's like your favorite thing that you're doing right now with your kids? And how old are they?
14,
okay.
12, and 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
a little bit of an age gap there.
I know. Well, because of my correct
right.
diagnosis, we were able to have that third child that we never thought we'd be
another
able to
miracle,
have. I
right?
know. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, my mom says the first 2 are the real miracles, because those were the very tough pregnancies.
Oh, for sure.
So,
for sure.
But I mean, things that I'm so grateful that I can do with my kids. I mean, sometimes it's just the annoying things. Like, I can drive at night to go pick my daughter up from basketball practice. But it's fun to be able to go shopping with them at the mall.
Sure.
I mean, that's
things
fun.
that people take for granted.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I got to go pick my kid up from basketball practice.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I get to.
Yes,
right?
I get to.
Yeah.
Yes, or being able to walk my son into preschool, baking them their own birthday cakes instead of buying them at the bakery.
Wow.
So it's
wow.
Yeah.
So you're probably just really learning a lot yourself, and learning a lot of new things about yourself that you've never experienced before, and are bringing you a new level of joy.
Yep, I'm kind of a big kid.
Yeah.
Like trying all these new
I
things
think that's
for the
fun.
first time. Yeah.
That's fun. Well, what would you say with someone that has cerebral palsy, actually, because you've lived in that space for so many years? What would you say to encourage them?
And really anyone with any type of physical
Absolutely.
disability, to love yourself, accept who you are. It really is. It is a part of you. I mean, you can't deny that.
Sure.
What you're dealing with is a part of you, but it's not going to define you.
Right.
You can't let it define you. And people, once they get to know you, they can look past all the differences that you have and really enjoy being around you for who you are. You have to keep a positive attitude. You have to find the good in every situation. There are tough challenges, and we all face tough challenges, no matter what our circumstances are.
Yeah.
It's just a part of you.
Yeah, and to probably stay grounded in God's word of who you are, and knowing whose you are, right?
Yeah, keeping the faith and knowing that what you're dealing with is not a mistake. There is purpose behind it.
Absolutely.
You might not know what the purpose is, but there is definitely purpose behind it.
Absolutely. And, you know, just the perseverance of all the years, the 33 years of you living with, you know, quote unquote CP, even though you didn't have it, you had this perseverance behind you. Would you say that you're wired that way? Are you a driven person, or were you? I mean,
stubborn.
Stubborn.
I'm
okay.
stubborn.
I'm a little stubborn.
Oh my gosh,
it's okay.
now it's on film. My husband's gonna love that. I'm stubborn.
See, I told you. He'll say, and you admitted it.
I am. I mean, growing up, like I would hear, "Oh, you will never be able to do that."
Oh yeah.
Oh, you better watch me.
Okay, I like that.
You know,
I like
never
that.
thought I'd be able to ride a bike. Was told that. I talk about it in my book about being told by my, a guidance counselor that I shouldn't go off to college because I'd never make it.
Wow.
Just all these things, tell me I
and
can't do something. Oh yeah.
And you graduated.
I did.
And yeah. Now, what did you go to school for?
Well, I changed my major a few times, but I ended up with a communications degree.
Well, good thing, because you're communicating.
I know. I always had a fear of public speaking.
Uh-huh.
The idea of getting up in front of people scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, would make me physically ill. But somehow that was the path God had put me in. And now I'm able to use that for public speaking. And
think of how God used Moses, and he stuttered, right? he uses those of us that don't really realize they have a voice or are scared to death. And so I love that you went to school for communications, because he knew that you were going to need it and use it well.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited. I want to again share with you misdiagnosed, my 30-year struggle with a debilitating disorder I never had. You can get it on Amazon or jeanabbott.com.
Correct.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much for being with us
thank
today.
you.
You seriously are an inspiration to me, and I've just enjoyed getting to know you. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
I
your time.
appreciate it.
All right, well, don't go away because we have some more exciting things coming up. I've got some tips and tricks in the kitchen that you do not want to miss. How to cook with fewer calories and less fat, but the food will still taste great. Don't go away. Do you sometimes think that you're too old or maybe you're too far gone as it pertains to your health and your well-being? Well, it's not true, because your body is your gym. And I want to encourage you and invite you to go to wendiepett.com because I have some great free resources for you and some free exercises that will teach you how to use your body as your gym. No matter your athletic ability or your age, you can do these exercises. So make sure you go to wendiepett.com to get your free resources. Have you ever told anyone, go walk it off? Well, it turns out that's great advice. It's great for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hi, I'm Wendie Pett, fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise and wellness system. With Walk It Off Now, it's a 6-week walking workout program. You'll get 6 weeks of online videos right to your email inbox. You get an ebook, a walking journal, plus access to my private Facebook community to keep you accountable. So what are you waiting for? Go to walkitoffnow.com and join me. Hi, and welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. And before the break, I said that we were going to come back and I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks in the kitchen to save you time, save you calories, and to keep the food still tasting great at the same time. Is it possible? Yes, it is. And so I want to jump right to it and show you what I'm doing here. I've got a skillet that has nothing in it right now, but it's been on the pan is really heated up. So I'm trying to get it really hot because I'm not going to be using oil. I'm going to saute some onions for my recipe. I'm not going to do the whole recipe here. This is more about the process of sauteing the onions without oil or any kind of spray. So here's what you do. Come here with me. Here's what you do. Now I've got this heated up. You see how this water, when you just put a little water in there, it beads up? You want to make sure that the pan is heated up enough where it becomes one big thing of ball of water, right? So it all starts to go together and then it beads into one bead. That's when you know that the pan is hot enough to start cooking your onions, okay? So you go ahead and you throw your onions in here and you put them in the skillet, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? They're gonna stick to the pan. It's gonna be terrible. Well, it's not gonna stick to the pan. Hold up, hold up. I mean, it is kinda, but oh man, if you could smell this, it smells so good. My cameraman is going nuts. It smells that great. So you just saute them in this hot skillet like normal until they start to become a little more translucent, just like normal whenever you're sauteing onions. And you always want to do your onions first whenever you're cooking with onions because of the flavor that they bring to a recipe. Now you can see they're getting a little brown. That's totally fine. They're sticking on the pan a little bit, but here's the trick, all right? Are you ready for this? Here's the trick. I've got a little vegetable broth, some organic vegetable broth. And I've sauteed these quite enough here. They're pretty translucent. Woo! So you just put that right there on your skillet. Turn down your heat just a smidgen. And see, it starts to pick up all that flavor on the bottom of the skillet. All the onion flavor that was sticking on the bottom that you were worried about is now going to be picked up off the pan, and then you can add whatever dish you're putting with this. So for me, I would chop up some kale or some collard greens, put in some mushrooms. You can do whatever you want, but now you have the base of your onions cooked and you never had to use oil, which is awesome because oil is about, well, 1 to 2, probably about 2 tablespoons is almost about 400 empty calories. So if you can shave that off of your daily caloric intake, then that's great. And besides, here's the secret. And I know you don't believe this, but oil is typically known as fat in a bottle. That's right, I know, you hear about the Mediterranean diet, all those things, but oil is not necessary. You can get your healthy fats from avocados, nuts, seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, that kind of thing. So you've got your basic here with the onions. Now you get to throw in the rest of your dish and it's going to be delish. Okay, now how about this trick? A lot of people don't realize this. I see people like peeling avocados and it takes them forever. Are you kidding me? You don't have to do that. Some of you may know this, but some of you don't. So I'm just going to show you. All you have to do for an avocado is take it, slice it down the middle. Now this is really simple, right? Slice it down the middle, twist it apart like so, all right? And then you take your knife, you throw it into the seed, maybe right a little more accurate, and you twist the seed out and then you pop it off. Easy enough. And I like to just kind of take my avocado and slice it right here. And then you just take a spoon, scoop it out, and boom, you have your avocado slices. So very simple, easy hack. So don't go peeling avocados any longer, okay? Maybe you're not a big salad fan unless it has dressing. Well, I want to encourage you to ditch the dressings because they're loaded full of calories and empty calories and fat. So here are a couple things that you can do. For me, what I do, this is just a simple salad to show you, but I take a lemon, and first of all, to get a lot of the juice from the lemon, if you'll take the lemon and actually press on it a little bit on the counter and roll it, then you'll start to loosen up some of that juice and it'll be more juicy and easier to squeeze on your salads. Now I just take a little bit like this, a little wedge, and for me, this is all I need. I just take the lemon, I squeeze it on, and then I usually use a little cayenne pepper. That's kind of my deal. And tap on a little cayenne pepper. You could use turmeric, you could use curry, whatever flavor you like, or any kind of seasoning that doesn't have salt into or on your salad, and that's plenty. I mean, this is fantastic just like this. Now some of you are like, yeah right, that's not gonna cut it. And I get it, some of you are really hooked on salad dressing. So here's what you can do. You can actually take, I have a little bit of water in here, maybe about 2 tablespoons, and you can take your lemon and squeeze into the bowl like so. And then, I'm not sure if you're familiar with tahini paste, but tahini paste is basically ground up sesame seeds. And sesame seeds are loaded with calcium, one of the best sources of calcium. So I really encourage you to eat sesame seeds or tahini paste. So you want to take some tahini paste, oops, messy, and put it into your bowl here. And just kind of mix it up and make it into a dressing. You can add any kind of spice as well. And you just kind of whisk it. Maybe I should be using a whisk. That's my problem. I need to whisk it. So yeah, you whisk it up, make it a dressing. If you need to add more lemon juice, if you need to add more water, you can, but then you can use that as your dressing right onto your salad. Okay, it needs to be whisked up a little bit more, but I don't have time. So, but I'm so glad that we had time together on Visibly Fit today. I love being with you. I'm so glad you joined me, and I hope you learned a few kitchen tips and tricks and hacks that will make your life a lot easier. But I look forward to seeing you same time, same place right here next week on Visibly Fit.